Hello and welcome to this brand new Techzine video. Today we're going to talk about the world of storage, more specifically Synology storage and everything that has to do with it. We're joined by Victor Wang from Synology. So welcome Victor, thank you for joining us today at your own event. So actually I'm joining you, but thank you anyway for doing this interview. As the first question, how was the first largely post-COVID year for you? What did you see in the market? What's happening?
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to share our latest developments and our strategy on enterprise market. So speaking of COVID, it's already after pandemic period. During pandemic, we did see a lot of growth, not only enterprise segment, but also consumer segment, and also other vendors also have good growth. But today in partner event, we talk quite a few channel partners. They are saying that consumer market, they are quite struggling in this year. But thanks to our enterprise improvement, actually we have great growth on enterprise market. We check our record month sales comparing to last year. We had 50% growth.
What did that? Why did it grow so quickly? I mean, what did COVID do to the world that makes Synology a very good fit?
Yes, because after COVID, we noticed that most of companies they accelerate their digital transformation. So more and more documents goes to online. It leads to more data to be managed. So in this case, we are the storage vendor. We take benefits from it. And also you have the data, you need to protect it. So we have backup solution to have extra protection. And we also notice that now more and more companies are having hybrid work mode. So they need to manage different devices in different locations and different people with different permissions. In this case, we have the solution Synology Drive to make them share and sync the data efficiently. Yeah. And also we have a router to build VPN connection, and we offer it for free since COVID.
Yeah. So when you talk about the hybrid work or the hybrid model that has become very common, you don't necessarily mean that more people are buying your NAS devices, but maybe more about how to disclose or how to make everything available for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But since today we are focusing on enterprise, so I'm in the angle of the IT manager of companies. So they need to adapt, as I just said, the VPN solutions for their employees, and also the storage needs is also increasing.
Yeah. So you also see an effect in the market on your routing business from hybrid work.
Yes, exactly. And I would like to add some more points because speaking of IT managers, even IT managers, they might work from home, or for some small business, they don't have dedicated IT person. So we are trying to make an intuitive interface, and we also have Active Insight, which is a cloud monitoring platform to reduce the workloads of the IT managers.
Yeah. Because you did a major upgrade on your user interface as well, right?
Yes.
I noticed because I also use Synology at home. So that's been a very important factor in the hybrid world as well. That's what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So just remind us or remind the viewers of the key pillars that
Yes.
Synology is. So you focus on cloud storage, backup, and surveillance. Is that a good
Yes,
summary?
exactly.
So what do you see happening in those four words? What are the trends beside the COVID and the hybrid work kind of angle?
Okay, we just mentioned the three solutions: storage, backup, and surveillance. And it happens that the three solutions are also the most frequently used features for our enterprise users. So I would like to start from the storage part. So as I mentioned, the storage needs getting bigger and bigger. How to manage huge amount of data become a major challenge of enterprise users. So now we have HD 6500 over there, and it could accommodate up to 300 hard drives. So you could have petabyte storage in a single unit and at an affordable price.
Yeah, and that's quite rare because usually when you go for the arrays like that, they're not affordable at all.
Yeah, exactly. So we are also taking benefit from it because some companies before COVID they used to have HP and Dell EMC, the high-end storage brand, but now they couldn't afford the maintenance fee or the initial cost.
No.
So they are looking for some alternative solutions, and Synology will be the answer for that.
Do you see a lot of pickup or uptake of these kind of arrays to replace primary storage from the big traditional vendors? Do you see a lot of that happening in the market, or are you still? Because I remember I once spoke to a customer of yours, a university that used it for research groups, right? So to give every research group its own data storage, but they didn't use it for the primary storage for the university itself. Do you see a shift happening there? Are you getting into the primary storage of the backbone of bigger organizations as well?
We do have internal project system so that we could collect some information of how our project is managed. We did see a lot of users that used to have Dell, EMC, or HPE, and now they convert to Synology. Mostly they are using our storage for file server. We are not quite sure if they are primarily use it, but actually for big companies, they usually have a lot of storage.
Yeah.
So our strategy is we just start from one unit and they will enjoy the features on DSM. And thanks to our one-time cost structure, so they could enjoy the features after purchase.
Yeah.
So maybe they will consider to replace the service bit by bit.
But do you see measurable growth in the primary or in the storage array area?
Sorry. Yeah, actually, I just mentioned our recommend model grew by 50%.
Okay,
so
yeah,
it could be a good sign on the enterprise penetration.
Yeah. So that's storage. So and then the others are backup and surveillance, right? So let's go to
Yes.
backup then.
Speaking of backup solutions, first of all, we try to back up wherever the data is. So the users might have mobile phone, personal computer, Windows Server, virtual machine, and even the cloud services like Office 365 and Google Workspace. We can back up all of them. And in terms of backup source, we provide on-premise and cloud, the two options. So the users could choose from on-premise to have maximum privacy in terms of backup, or on-premise to cloud for cost effectiveness, or cloud to cloud, so they don't need to worry about the physical device management.
And what are the general trends in that respect? Do you see a move towards more multi-cloud backups away from on-prem backups, or is it still? Does it keep pace with each other in terms of how the trends and the way it's going?
I would say the two. The cloud backup and on-premise backup having their own strengths. So have on-premise backup, you have better local access, and for online backup, it's more flexible, but sometimes you will lose privacy. So we offer both solutions for customers to choose.
Yeah, okay, and it doesn't really matter for you which ones they use, or does it?
Well, actually, it matters that we want more people to be engaged with backup solutions. So in addition to our backup solution, Active Backup, we also have C2 Backup. And for C2 Backup, actually, we don't require the user to have a NAS. So they could just subscribe to C2 Backup, then can back up their laptop or Mac to our cloud. And in this case, we could expand our user base, because if they are happy with that, they might eventually get a NAS. So,
or maybe they don't, but they still use your solution.
Yes. So it's still a brand awareness. Link Synology with backup is what we want to see.
Yeah, but just to be clear, you're not. You're still focusing on the on-prem or on the NAS devices themselves and on the arrays themselves as well, right? So you're not at the beginning of a move towards fully software-defined kind of approach.
No, because we believe both backup solutions would have their own market.
That makes sense because you always, I mean, the recommendation probably will always be to have an on-prem backup, right? So,
Yeah.
so then it makes sense to have one of these devices as well. So,
Yes.
in that respect, but on the other hand, the growth in the SaaS world is obviously potentially much bigger.
Yes.
So maybe that could be a reason to also focus on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and then we have the last one. This is surveillance. People can't see it, but over there's your new IP camera that you will start shipping it in next year, right? So in 2023.
Yes.
So what does that say about your ambitions in the surveillance market? Because up until now, it's been you had your surveillance station, and you could hook up lots of types of cameras natively, and others via on-viv or other protocols. So what's your strategy with coming out with your own IP cameras?
Okay. We do have some user data collection mechanism in the backend, and we noticed that 1 in 5 of Synology users are using Synology surveillance, and for now, we can see 2.3 million cameras are managed by the surveillance station. So it's a huge number. We think if we can have our own camera, maybe the users could benefit more from the better integration, and also it's a potential business for us.
Yeah, sure, makes sense.
Yes, and in terms of enterprise part in a project, cameras are always the first element to be considered. So you won't choose MVR first and cameras.
No.
It will be the other way around.
No.
So we decided to have our own camera because of the reason.
So what makes these unique then? Because you say better integration.
Yes.
What integrates those cameras better than any other camera in the market?
I would say the setup would be easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and also the better integration means if you are using on-viv to integrate, sometimes you need to change the settings back in the camera interface.
Yeah.
And if when it comes to a big site with thousands of cameras and you mix with different cameras, you might need to spend a lot of time on the setup. But with Synology cameras, for big deployment, it will be easier.
Okay. So apart from the market opportunity that you mentioned about the 2.3 million cameras that are hooked up worldwide to your surveillance station, are there any other reasons to come out with your own IP camera next year?
Yes, since we also improve our surveillance station or video management system by having the video analytics features like license plate recognition and facial recognition. On the other hand, we also try to make our surveillance station more intuitive and more secure. We believe that we also need to have a good camera that we have full control to make sure the quality of the total surveillance system.
Yeah.
And for our customers, it would be also a peace of mind if they could just come to one vendor to solve everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. So especially business-wise, it makes a lot of sense for you.
Yes.
So, but and just let's get back to the storage and the data part, because nowadays we don't really talk about data or storage in itself anymore as much as we talk about data management, right?
Yes.
It's all about data management. And obviously, you have DSM.
Yes.
What are the data management muscles or the skills that the DSM can offer their customers, especially moving forward and with the current trends that we talked about earlier in mind?
I think data management, we have been working with the topic for many years. So the solutions are already more mature than other solutions, but we are trying to make it with better improvement, because when we talk about data management, it involves data syncing, data storing, data sharing. We want to do it more securely and more efficiently. So speaking about doing it safely, we have the encryption mechanism. yes, and also the backup solutions.
So is
to
it
protect.
so you encrypt all the you can encrypt all the data that you store?
Yes, yes. Starting from encrypting the folders, and we also now can increase the whole volume, and also we could make sure that the connection itself is encrypted. So you can see.
So and then
we
you're
are-
talking about the connection between the user and the
Yes,
location of the
yes,
data, right?
yes, the protocols, and as you can see, our services, we now have our own cloud file services, like we have C2 transfer, C2 storage, and people are scared to move their data to cloud because of the privacy issue, but actually we apply zero knowledge design. So
So
only
zero knowledge design.
yes, so only you have the encryption key. Synology don't have the encryption key. So even you store the data on our cloud, we don't know anything about your
Oh,
data.
so the organizations and the enterprises they have their own keys for the encryption.
Yes.
So then
yes.
you don't have them and you can't reach
we
them. You
don't
can access
have
them.
them.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's a good that's a good that's good to do.
Yes, so that's the part to do it safely. And I also mentioned about do it efficiently. For data management, we have Synology Drive, and which you can use it in multiple platforms. Uh, After the pandemic, someone might be working from home and they might have their NAS in different locations. With Synology Drive, we can keep all data synced. And on top of that, we also have collaboration tools like Synology Office, Synology Chat to make sure all the communications within organizations.
Do you see a lot of organizations standardizing on these things, on Synology Chat and what is it called, Synology Office, and so all these things? Do you see a lot of organizations standardizing on that?
Yes, yes, we have quite a few deployments, and some of them are writing case study at our website. And actually, our company itself is a good example. We are using chat on our mobile device to talk to my colleagues back at headquarters, and we now have around 900 employees. So
so you use your own solution.
Yes,
so Synology runs
everything.
Synology. That's good.
Yes, and it's also convincing to our customers because every time we visit them, they can show, they can see our solutions. And I also want to highlight another part is like we are talking about hybrid infrastructure. We have our C2 and we have local NAS. And we are trying to have some integration between each other. So we launched a hybrid share, the application. It means that you could create a share. Actually, the data will be on the cloud, but you can see it from your NAS. So when you store something on that, actually, it won't occupy the storage space.
So you're streaming it basically. You're streaming it from somewhere else.
We leave it for customers to choose because they could also download it for fast local cache. Or if they don't have enough storage space on their local NAS, they could still get it from the cloud.
Yeah, the only thing you need is a network connection, obviously. But
yes, and also you need storage on the C2.
Yeah, sure. That's what goes without saying. But and also you need a network connection. But so you're accessing it. You can work on it, and it behaves as if it's on your own system, but it isn't. Because it's constantly streamed and basically it's streamed, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, okay. So I think I remember that from your Synology 2022 and Beyond session last year. At the end of last year, I think you announced it back then. I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So and then one final thing in terms of storage and primarily the backups, right?
Yes.
Immutability is a very big thing at the moment.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about that you need immutable backups because you can't access them anymore after you've backed up, right?
Yes.
What's the latest from Synology on immutability? Do you do that?
We are working on that. Actually, we now apply a technology called WORM. WORM.
WORM, yeah.
WORM. So it is short for write once, read many. So you can imagine that you won't when you store something, we will lock the shared folder to disallow our other users to modify it, even the administrators. So it could be seen as an immutable storage, and we are going to launch immutable backup at our Hyper Backup application.
Yeah, so also in the cloud?
Yes. No.
Not yet.
Hyper Backup is used to backup from the NAS.
Yeah, I know. Sorry,
Yes.
actually you mentioned Hyper Backup. So that's the backup that you do from your office and your Google,
Yes,
Google workspace.
from the NAS, but we have a lot of destination to choose from. You can use Hyper Backup to cloud, or backup to another
that one.
NAS.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was confusing it with Active Backup. I think that's the so many backup
Right.
solutions on the NAS devices.
Yes. Well, I know somebody will confuse because we have different backup solutions, but actually Active Backup is we backup data to Synology NAS.
Yeah.
And Hyper Backup is from
No, but
Synology
even
NAS.
that confuses me sometimes. But
Okay.
no, but I mean it's fine. If you know what to use, then you can always set it up correctly. I've used it in the past as well. But also because usually immutability is also very heavily linked to backing up to the cloud, right? So lots of vendors offer immutable backups in the cloud on S3 or whatever. But are you thinking of doing that yourselves as well in your C2 backup or in another kind of backup that you offer?
Well, speaking of cloud, we comparing to NAS solution is still quite new, and we are launching bit by bit the different cloud services. And actually, I want to share with you our strategy is that for some C2 service, we doesn't need our users to have Synology NAS because we want to expand our user base, and we want to make users to have the concept of backup. So C2 backup, as I just mentioned, they just need to get a license. They can back up their laptop. And we also have a free service called C2 Password, because we noticed that a lot of security risks are actually from the password set by the users. So we now have a free password management software application, and users doesn't need to have Synology NAS nor subscription.
Okay, but just to be clear, will you offer immutable backups in C2 backup, or
immutable?
Are they immutable by default in C2 backup?
No, for immutable backup, we only plan to make it happen on Hyper Backup.
Okay.
But for C2 backup, it will be another topic.
Oh, that's fine. But just to get this clear, right? Because our viewers always also want to know what's what, right? Because, like I said, you have various backup solutions, and sometimes it's good to have to have clear what's what, right?
Yes, and actually, I just mentioned about those C2 services because our ultimate goal is to build a better world with data. It is a slogan that we show it at our headquarters office. So with those new services, we can invite more and more users to experience nice features, and maybe in the end they will benefit from other solutions as well.
Well, and we just have to see what happens, right? So how successful that will be towards the future. I think I want to thank you for joining me, and thank you for having me over at your partner event. I think it's been very instructive. I've learned something. I hope you had a good time as well.
Likewise. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and looking forward to meeting again in the future.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you.